Most people think of phobias as a fear and avoidance of something external, such as spiders, heights, or flying. But some people can be equally terrified of a feeling, like rage or sadness, of a thought or wish, or a prediction that if they try something new it will fail, or even of physical sensations such as the rapid heartbeat and difficulty breathing that accompany panic. Such a phobia of inner experience may involve shame or disgust in addition to fear. The phobia of inner experience is a serious problem contributing to ongoing psychological distress and inhibition of pleasant or spontaneous activities. For example, people may be intensely ashamed of feeling rage because they believe that emotion could only belong to a bad person, or because they fear the consequences of expressing it. They feel enraged, and instead of being able to deal with the anger, they increase their misery by giving themselves negative labels. Their misery has thus become compounded. Subsequently, they avoid anger and situations that might evoke anger, and any time they begin to feel angry, they recoil in shame and disgust. Other people may have intense fantasies of being cared for, yet feel very afraid, ashamed, and disgusted by these wishes, because they have negative beliefs that being needy or dependent is weak and not normal, again creating more inner distress and preventing them from accepting important needs. Some inner experiences may feel so threatening that almost any means of avoidance or escape may be used, no matter how destructive. Perhaps you avoid your inner experience by working too much, so you do not have to pay attention to yourself. Other avoidance behaviors might include drugs and alcohol or self-harm, increasing self-criticism, withdrawing from others, or blaming others for your inner problems. Avoidance can be conscious or unconscious. We will begin by helping you be more aware of the ways in which you avoid inner experience in conscious ways. Once you become comfortable in noticing how you consciously avoid your inner experience, you gradually can begin to feel more secure to focus on some inner experiences of which you may not yet be aware. Generally, the phobia of inner experience develops for 3 different reasons. First, many people who were traumatized early in life did not get much help in learning how to understand and cope with typical intense inner experiences, such as overwhelming emotions. They received too little help and reassurance from caretakers. Thus, they feel easily overwhelmed simply because they do not understand these experiences and feel they are not controllable. Second, people tend to evaluate their inner experience as good or bad. They go on to label themselves in the same way. Anger is bad and dangerous, so if I feel anger, I must be bad and dangerous. Only people who are unlovable and worthless feel shame, so if I feel shame, it means I am a failure and unlovable. Of course, we all want what is good and pleasant, and we want to avoid what is painful, just as we want to be good people, not bad ones. But our inner experiences are not what make us good or bad. They are just a natural part of everyone's internal world. Finally, certain inner experiences serve as reminders of past traumatic experiences or as signals that something terrible is about to happen. For example, when people or some dissociative parts of themselves feel anxious, the emotion and physical sensations may immediately remind them, even if only on an unconscious level, of the fear they felt when they were being hurt in the past. They thus try to avoid feeling anxious so as not to be reminded of unresolved traumatic memories. Others might perceive an inner experience as a signal that something is about to go wrong. For instance, a person who feels sadness may believe or merely sense that this emotion precedes an overwhelming experience of despair, lack of comfort, and aloneness. Thus, sadness is avoided to prevent the other expected and really difficult experience from occurring. The painful paradox is that what is fearfully anticipated and avoided would not likely take place if the present feeling of sadness is accepted and calmly experienced. It is completely understandable that you might want to avoid certain inner experiences that are related to past traumatizing events, yet healing requires you to work with these inner experiences in order to understand and change them, and you cannot change that which you avoid or do not know. Although it may be difficult, it is essential for you to learn how to accept, understand, regulate, and cope with all of your inner experiences. Inner experiences have good reason to exist and should not be judged as good or bad. Everyone has internal experiences. Some are more congruent with who you want to be, others less so. Some are more comfortable, others are not. Some are more under your control, others occur spontaneously. All humans have this wide range of inner experiences. Everyone gets angry, feels afraid and ashamed, or incompetent at times. If you are able to tolerate those feelings and their accompanying thoughts and sensations, you can begin to sit back and understand a bit more about them, and thus what to do about them. Otherwise, you remain a captive of your inner experience with it in control of you. I'm going to be reading from a book called Coping with Trauma-Related Dissociation, and specifically a chapter called Overcoming the Phobia of Inner Experiences. Pretty much anyone who has experienced emotional dysregulation or severe emotional dysregulation will probably be able to relate to some of the concepts in this chapter. Our inner experience is that which we think, feel, remember, perceive, sense, decide, plan, and predict. These experiences are actually mental actions or mental activity. Mental activity in which we engage all the time may or may not be accompanied by behavioral actions. It is essential that you become aware of, learn to tolerate, and regulate, and even change major mental actions that affect your current life, such as negative beliefs and feelings or reactions to the past that interfere with the present. However, it is impossible to change inner experiences if you are avoiding them because you are afraid, ashamed, or disgusted by them. Serious avoidance of your inner experience is called experiential avoidance, or the phobia of inner experience.